If you're trying to break into AI in 2026 but you don't have a technical background, this video is going to give you a clear, personalized path forward, which is not generic advice that applies to everyone, but it is in fact a framework to figure out exactly what you need to learn based on where you're starting and where you want to go. I know how confusing this might feel right now. You're a marketer, or maybe you're in product management, you're in sales or operations or consulting, design, finance, and everywhere you look, AI is taking over the conversation. You know it matters, you know you need to understand it. But every time you try to figure out where to stand, you get overwhelmed by the tutorials, tools, courses, and advice that all seem to point you in all different directions. So here is what I want you to understand before you go any further. This video is not about turning you into a machine learning engineer overnight. That is not realistic, and honestly, it might not even be what you need. This is about helping you think clearly, avoid random learning that leads nowhere, and build a path that actually makes sense for your specific career. If you don't know me, I'm Aishwarya Srinivasan. I have been in the AI and ML space for over a decade now. I did my master's in data science from Columbia University, and I've worked at companies like Microsoft, Google, and IBM. And these days, I'm leading AI developer relations at Fireworks AI, one of the top AI inference startups. I spend a lot of time thinking about how people at different levels and from different backgrounds can meaningfully engage in AI. And I want to share what I have learned with you. So let's get started. So the first mistake I see people make, and I mean constantly making this mistake, is jumping straight into tools. They start watching random tutorials on YouTube, experimenting with prompts, signing up for every new AI platform that launches, or trying to learn AI without actually understanding what AI is and how it fits into real systems. This is in fact backwards, and it leads to a lot of wasted time and frustration. Your first step should always be AI literacy, not tool, not coding, literacy. Think about it this way. Before you can speak a language fluently, you need to understand the basics of how that language works. What are the building blocks? What's the grammar? What's possible and what's not? AI literacy is learning the language of AI before you try to become fluent in it. There are two courses that I would highly recommend for this, and both of them are free. The first one is AI for Everyone by Andrew Ang on Coursera, and the second one is Generative AI for Everyone, which is also a deep learning AI course. These courses are deliberately non-technical, and that's exactly the point. They help you understand what AI can and cannot do, how AI systems are built at high level, and where humans still matter in the process, and especially how AI impacts jobs, workflows, and businesses. Once you've gone through something like this, you'll be able to have an intelligent conversation about AI. You'll understand why certain things are hard and why other things are easy. You'll stop being impressed by demos and start asking the right questions. That foundation matters more than you think. Here is something that I strongly believe, and I want you to take this seriously. Any education you pursue, especially when you're upskilling mid-career, needs to point in a direction. Learning without a goal leads to confusion, burnout, and wasted time. I have seen so many people spend months consuming AI content, taking courses, watching videos, and at the end of it, they still don't know what they're actually building towards. They learned a lot of random things, but none of it connects to anything real. So before you learn anything else, you need to answer one question. Why am I learning AI? And I mean specifically answer it. Are you trying to switch roles entirely, like going from marketing to becoming an AI engineer? Or are you trying to become hands-on with AI tools in your current role? Or are you trying to become AI empowered, meaning that you stay in your own field, but you use AI to be dramatically more efficient? Or are you trying to work at an AI startup or sell AI products or consult on AI strategy? Your answer completely changes what you should be learning. There is no single roadmap that works for everyone, and anyone who tells you otherwise is oversimplifying it. So let me give you some questions to sit with. If I were to start today from a non-technical background, these are the questions I would ask myself. What role do I want to move into in the next 1 to 2 years? Do I want to build AI systems, or do I want to work around AI systems? How technical do I realistically want to be? And be honest with yourself here. What transferable skills do I already have that might be valuable? Will I be closer to users and customers, or closer to infrastructure and engineering? And am I optimizing for speed, for depth, or for long-term mastery? Your answers to these questions determine your roadmap. Not mine, not some other influencers, but yours. Let me make this really concrete because abstract advice does not help anyone. I'm going to walk you through 4 different scenarios, 4 different people with 4 different backgrounds and different goals. As I go through these, notice which one sounds most like you. So example 1 is a marketing professional. Let's say you're a marketer. Your goal is not to build models. Your goal is a leverage. You want to write faster, analyze campaign performances better. You want to personalize content at scale, and you want to work more efficiently with AI-powered tools and products. So here's the thing. Your learning path should not be start with Python. I know that sounds counterintuitive because everyone online is trying to tell you to learn code. But for your goal, that's probably not the highest value thing you could do. Instead, you should start with understanding how generative AI actually creates content. What is happening under the hood at a conceptual level? You should definitely learn prompting as a thinking skill, not just as a trick. There is a real craft to getting AI to produce useful outputs, and it's not about magic words. You should understand evaluation. How do you know if AI output is good or bad? This is something most people skip entirely, and it matters a lot. And you should get hands-on with AI tools for content creation, analytics, and experimentation. You should also understand enough of the AI stack to collaborate efficiently with engineers. So things like, what is an API? What does inference mean? Why do latency and cost matter? You don't need to build these things, but you need to understand them well enough to have a productive conversation. Your roadmap is about becoming an AI-empowered marketer, not an AI engineer. And that's totally a valid and a valuable path. Now, example 2. A data or a business analyst. Now let's say that you're either a data analyst or a business analyst working at a company. You already work with data every day. You already think analytically. That is a huge advantage. Don't underestimate it. Your goal is probably to move from dashboards and reports to intelligent systems. You want to go from describing what happened to building systems that can predict, recommend, or automate. Your learning path should look different. Python fundamentals for data and ML makes sense for you. Then you should learn about statistics and evaluation intuition. You probably have some of it already, but you'll want to go deep into it. Then understanding how machine learning models are trained and tested and how LLMs differ from traditional machine learning. You should also be learning how retrieval, embeddings, and agents work. You don't need to become a research scientist, but you do need to understand how models fail, how to evaluate outputs rigorously, and how to build end-to-end workflows. Your roadmap is about transitioning from analysis to building systems. Now, example number 3 is a cloud solutions architect. Now let's talk about the infrastructure folks. Imagine you're a cloud solutions architect and you want to move into an AI-focused developer or field engineering role. You already understand distributed systems, you understand APIs, you understand reliability and scalability, all the infrastructure fundamentals. That's also pretty valuable. Your missing piece is not system thinking, it is model behavior. Your learning path should focus on inference architectures, the difference between GPUs and specialized hardware, things like model deployment patterns, cost and latency, and throughput trade-offs, as well as monitoring and evaluation of AI systems. You need to understand where AI systems break in production, which is different from where traditional systems break. So your roadmap is about becoming the person who bridges infrastructure and models. That's an incredibly valuable position to be in. Now, example number 4 is product manager becoming an AI PM. Finally, let's talk about the product managers. If you want to become an AI PM, here is what I need you to understand. Your job is not to ship AI features. Your job is to design AI experiences. That is a different thing. AI features are about technology. AI experiences are about the users and how they interact with uncertainty, how they build trust, and how they give feedback that makes the system better over time. Your learning path should focus on user journeys in AI-powered products, where AI uncertainty shows up and how to design around it. How to build trust and feedback loops, the trade-offs between accuracy, speed, and cost, and how teams iterate on models after launch. You should understand prompting, you should understand evaluation, you should understand data flywheels, how user interactions make the product better over time, and you should know what's configurable versus what is fixed in AI systems. So your roadmap is about decision-making under uncertainty, not writing code. Now notice what changed across all the 4 of these examples. It wasn't the ambition. Everybody wanted to work in AI. What changed was the depth and direction of learning. This is why random learning does not work. Two people both can say, I want to work in AI and need completely different roadmap. That's not a failure of courses or content, that's just the reality of modern AI careers. So here is the reality you need to accept. There is no single degree, bootcamp or course that covers everything you need. AI roles too are new. Career paths are too diverse and the field is moving very fast. So instead of searching for the perfect course which does not exist, you need to build a custom learning path for yourself. Think in terms of 6 to 9 months, not years. Your roadmap might include one AI literacy course, one role-specific course, or set of resources with ongoing reading and creator content, as well as hands-on experimentation, even if it is light. And here is where things get interesting. ChatGPT and other AI tools are incredibly powerful for designing personalized learning paths. Let me tell you exactly how I would use this. First, give it context. Something like, I'm a product manager with 5 years of experience. I want to become an AI product manager in the next 9 months. I don't want to become deeply technical, but I want strong system level understanding. Then ask specific questions. What skills do I need in this transition? What concepts should I prioritize and what should I ignore? Can you create a 6 to 9 month roadmap for me? Can you recommend free or low cost resources for each step? You can even ask it to revise the roadmap every month as you learn more and your understanding evolves. This is how you personalize learning in 2026. You are not following somebody else's generic path, you're building your own path with AI as your thought partner. Now, let me point you towards some high quality learning sources because not all content is created equal. In general, I recommend learning from people and communities who actually build things. Theory is fine, but you want to learn from practitioners. For technical foundations, Hugging Face has incredible resources and tutorials. They are one of the most important companies in the open source AI ecosystem and their documentation is genuinely educational. LangChain and Llama Index are great for understanding how AI applications are actually built, whether it is agents, retrieval systems, or tool use. Even if you're not going to code these things yourself, understanding what they enable is valuable. And for individual creators who explain complex ideas clearly and honestly, I would point you to people like Sebastian Ratska, who writes really thoroughly about machine learning fundamentals. Then Alex Shu, who's great at system design explanations. Chip Huyen, who's also my friend, who bridges machine learning and system design thinking beautifully. I also write regularly about technical and strategic AI topics on my Substack, so if you want to stay updated without information overload, that's another option. Now here is another underrated strategy that I think more people should use. Don't follow everyone in AI. Follow people who are actually doing the job that you want. You can even ask ChatGPT something like, who are high quality creators writing about AI from product management perspective? Or who creates content for AI go-to-market roles. Then be intentional about what you consume. Your learning feed becomes part of your education. If you're following 100 random AI influencers who all have different perspectives and goals, you're going to be very confused. If you're following 5 people who are doing exactly what you want to do, you're going to be learning faster and with more clarity. Now, I want to talk about something that's maybe more important than any specific resource or course, and that's mindset. Getting started in AI from a non-technical background can feel intimidating. There is just so much jargon, there are so many people online who seem to know everything. It is easy to feel like you're already behind. But here is what I want you to understand. The people who succeed in AI, the people who actually make this transition, are not the ones who knew the most to start with. They are the ones who were clear about their goals, consistent in their learning, and willing to experiment even when they feel uncertain. You don't need to understand everything. You don't need to become a deep learning researcher. You need to understand enough to be efficient in the role that you're aiming for, and that's a much more achievable target. The other thing I would say is this: your non-technical background is not just a gap to overcome. It's also a source of perspective and skills that pure technologists often lack. If you are coming from marketing, you understand users and messaging. If you're coming from product, you understand prioritization and trade-offs. If you're coming from sales, you understand how to communicate value. These skills matter enormously in AI and they are not easy to teach. Now, let me give you the action plan. Here is what I want you to do after this video. First, start with AI literacy. Take the AI for Everyone and Gen AI for Everyone course. Get the foundations in place. This might take just a few weeks at most. Second, define your goal. Which of these 4 examples sounded most like you? What role are you aiming for? How technical do you want to be? Write this down and be very specific about it. Third, ask yourself the hard questions. What skills do you need to develop? What can you leverage from your current experience? What should you ignore? Fourth, build your custom roadmap. Use either ChatGPT to help you design a 6 to 9 month learning plan, and be specific about your context, your constraints, and your goals. Iterate on it as you learn more. And fifth, curate your learning feed. Follow creators who are doing exactly what you want to become and unfollow the noise. You need to be intentional. And then sixth, start experimenting even if it is small. Play with AI tools in your current work. Build something simple. The learning that sticks is the learning that you apply. And here is the final thing. You don't need to do all of this perfectly. You just need to start moving with intention instead of randomly consuming content and hoping something sticks. All the resources that I mentioned, the courses, the creators, the communities, I've linked everything in the description below. So bookmark them, come back to them as you progress. If this was helpful, please do subscribe and hit the bell icon. I post regularly about AI and ML career tips, free resources to help you upskill, and educational explainers on topics like this one. And I also talk about my journey building a career in AI as an immigrant in the US. If any of that resonates with you, I would love to have you stick around. And I want to hear from you. So drop a comment and tell me what's your background, what are the role that you're trying to move into. I genuinely read these and it helps me know what to cover in my future videos.